Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So we're going to continue reading from Canto 8, Srimad Bhagavatam. We are on the first chapter. We are in the middle of somewhere in the purport of text 10. Text 10. Does anyone remember what we read the last time?
Hare Krishna.
Hare
We
Krishna.
read that Parikshit Maharaj inquired and he said that to Sukdev Goswami that can you please tell me, I have already heard from your mouth about Swayambhuva Manu. So I know about his lineage. So can you also tell me about the other Manus now, about their lineage, about other Manus' lineage? And then we also heard that how the Manu um, is like, king, but he's not interested in the sense enjoyment and sense gratification. And today, all the leaders are just interested in the sense enjoyment and sense gratification, and they have no service attitude. But they should actually be like Manu, who had service attitude. And this is like a position which changes in every manvantara. It is like Indra and everything. These are like the positions. And then we also read the difference between us and God, that Krishna is eternal and God is eternal. And when annihilation, then we get inside his body and and then there are three types of dreams we did. The first dream is that when we go to sleep, that's the night dream. Then the second one is our daydream, that I am this body, my name is Neha, I am Indian, I am mother. So this is my daydream, the second kind of dream. And the third kind of dream that we did is that when we are in the body of Mahavishnu. So therefore, in this material world, we are just dreaming, as reality is only in the spiritual world. And then there were these 3 or 4 points that Manu has explained them. Manuji is saying that Supreme Lord has created this material world and he's always awake and he's not in the dreaming state. And everything belongs to him. And dead matter, living matter, animate, inanimate, everything, it belongs to him. And there is Paramatma in all. And therefore, we should take how much we require and not take others' property. And then we also heard about the sun god Vivaswan, and then his son Vaivasvat Manu, and then Ikshvaku. So like how the knowledge was passed. And that's there. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. So we are going to continue with the purport by Srila Prabhupada. Swayambhuva Manu instructs that whatever exists, not only in the spiritual world, but even within this material world, is the property of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is present everywhere as the super consciousness. So, super consciousness, Paramatma. So, God is present everywhere, Paramatma, every atom of the universe, in the heart of every living entity. Everything belongs to Him. As confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 13.3, Kshetragyam chapi mam vidi sarva kshetreshu bharata. In every field, in other words, in every body, the Supreme Lord is existing as the Super Soul. The individual soul is given a body in which to live and act according to the instructions of the Supreme Person, and therefore the Supreme Person also exists within every body. We should not think that we are independent. Rather, we should understand that we are allotted a certain portion of the total property of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So what we tend to think is this is mine, this is mine, this is mine. But what instead we need to think is that I have been given this by God for my needs. And yeah, so there's a difference that it belongs to God, but He's giving it to me to use it. This understanding will lead to perfect communism. Communists think in terms of their own nations. But the spiritual communism instructed here is not only nationwide but universal. Nothing belongs to any nation or any individual person. Everything belongs to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is the meaning of this verse. So it would be wonderful, no, if each and every one of us thought in that way, that everything belongs to the Supreme Lord. All the countries, all the resources belongs to God. We are simply being given, whatever we need for our maintenance. Then there would be peace, there would be harmony, there wouldn't be wars. Atma Vasyam Idam Vishwam, whatever exists within this universe is the property of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The modern communistic theory and also the idea of the United Nations can be reformed, indeed rectified, by the understanding that everything belongs to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Lord is not a creation of our intelligence, rather, He has created us. Like, there is some current thought, the scientists, they understand that this world that we are living in is not the reality. they there is some kind of, you know scientists are saying like that is not reality, it's some kind of simulation. But then instead of saying that yes, it's created by God and it's being controlled by God, they say, oh, it's like being controlled by a computer, you know so and actually it's God who has created. So Atma Vasyam Idam Vishwam, Isha Vasyam Idam Sarvam. This universal communism can solve all the problems of the world. One should learn from the Vedic literature that one's body is also not the property of the individual soul, but is given to the individual soul according to his karma. So, our body, we think, we may say, okay, well, nothing belongs to me, but then this body we think is mine. This is my body because we are inside the body. So, we are very attached to this body. My hand, my head, my eyes, my leg. We don't understand. It's actually given to us by Krishna, so it belongs to him. And so we need to use it for his service. Karmana deva netrena jantur deho papattaye. The 8,400,000 different bodily forms are machines given to the individual soul. This is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 1861. Ishvara sarva bhutanam hriddeshar tishtati brahmayan sarva bhutani yantra rudhani mayaya. The Supreme Lord is situated in everyone's heart, O Arjuna, and is directing the wanderings of all living entities, who are seated as on a machine made of the material energy. The Lord, as the Supersoul, sits in everyone's heart and observes the various desires of the individual soul. So, what we are desiring, what is our desire? Paramatma understands our desire. The Lord is so merciful that He gives the living entity the opportunity to enjoy varieties of desires in suitable bodies, which are nothing but machines. Yantra Rudhani Mayaya. These machines are manufactured by the material ingredients of the material external energy, and thus the living entity enjoys or suffers according to its desires. This opportunity is given by the Super Soul. So, this body that is so dear to us, and we think I am this body. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is saying, hey, this is not you. You are the soul. This body is a machine that I have given you. So, not easy to understand, right? Not easy to think, oh, actually, this body is a machine. I'm not this body. I'm inside this body. And then based on our desires, we are getting this different kind of machines. It's like we see, like we play a video game. And then sometimes we take on different characters, how we want to act, Like suppose Street Fighter, I want to act like E Honda. I want to act like Chung Li. So then each of them have their different functions. So yeah, we are not the body. This is what is being said in this purport. Everything belongs to the Supreme, and therefore one should not usurp another's property. We have a tendency to manufacture many things. Especially nowadays, we are building skyscrapers and developing other material facilities. We should know, however, that the ingredients of the skyscrapers and machines cannot be manufactured by anyone but the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So we can put the things together. For example, the skyscraper example, we can build the skyscraper, yeah, but we cannot create the cement. We cannot create water. We cannot create the raw materials that are needed, right? Earth, water, fire, air, ether. Those we cannot create. Those are created by Krishna. In no factory can we create these things. The whole world is nothing but a combination of the five material elements, Tejovari Mridam, Yatha Vinimaya. A skyscraper is a transformation of earth, water, and fire. Earth and water are combined and burned into bricks by fire, and a skyscraper is essentially a tall construction of bricks. Although the bricks may be manufactured by man, the ingredients of the bricks are not. So we are making bricks in our factory, but these bricks are being made by combining earth and water and then putting it in fire. So, but we cannot create earth, water, fire. Of course, man as a manufacturer may accept a salary from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is stated here, Tena Tyaktena Bunjita. One may construct a big skyscraper, but neither the constructor, the merchant, nor the worker can claim proprietorship. Proprietorship belongs to the person who has spent for the building. Just like, you know, if there's a construction happening, so the engineer is working there, the person who's putting brick by brick is working, the architect, and but there is one who has bought this land and he's paying for all these materials. So the worker who's laying the bricks cannot say, oh, just because I laid all the bricks, now this belongs to me. It actually belongs to the person who has put the money in, right? So perfect communism. Our tendency to construct great buildings should be used only for constructing, large and valuable temples in which to install the deity of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Then our desire for construction will be fulfilled. So Prabhupada is explaining it belongs to God, so it should be built for God. And we can take some portion, of course, we can take a room in there like that, but it belongs to God. And then we can have a room in that building which belongs to God, in the temple which belongs to God. Since all property belongs to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, everything should be offered to the Lord, and we should take only prasad, tena tyaktena bunjita. We should not fight among ourselves to take more than we need. As Narad said to Maharaj Yudhishthir, Yavad briyeta jatharam tavat svatvam hidehinam adhikam yo bhimanyeta sasteno dandam arhati. One may claim proprietorship to as much wealth as required to maintain body and soul together. But one who desires proprietorship over more than that must be considered a thief, and he deserves to be punished by the laws of nature. Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 14, Text 8. So the idea is that we take how much we need. Of course, we need to be maintained in eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. Ahara, Nidra, Bhaya, Maithuna. But since the Supreme Lord, the personality of Godhead, has provided these necessities of life for the birds and bees, why not for mankind? There is no need for economic development. Everything is provided. Therefore, one should understand that everything belongs to Krishna, and with this idea, one may take prasad. However, if one interferes with the allotments of others, he is a thief. We should not accept more than what we actually need. Therefore, if by chance we get an abundance of money, we should always consider that it belongs to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So we need what we need, we take. Then, if there is extra, understanding that uh, and all the money belongs to Krishna. So we take what we need and we have extra, offer it to Krishna. In Krishna consciousness, we are getting sufficient money, but we should never think that the money belongs to us. It belongs to the Supreme Personality of Godhead and should be equally distributed to the workers, the devotees. No devotee should claim that any money or property belongs to him. If one thinks that any portion of property of this huge universe belongs to anyone, he is to be considered a thief and is punishable by the laws of nature. Devi Esha Gunamai Mama Maya Duratyaya. No one can surpass the vigilance of material nature or hide his intentions from material nature. If human society unlawfully claims that the property of the universe, either partially or wholly, belongs to mankind, all of human society will be cursed as a society of thieves and will be punished by the laws of nature. There is one study also, right? They say that, with all the problems, all the global warming and then scarcity in certain places, they say if human beings are not there, the earth will become very nice and calm and peaceful. So why? Because we are not acting as we should. We are encroaching upon others' rights, the animals, the birds, the trees. We want to turn the whole earth and we want to like urbanize everything. So, but it belongs to everyone, not only the humans. Any comments? Question?
Yeah, that there is enough for everyone's need, but like for greed, there is no limit.
Yeah, that's what, right?
Like how
Eh,
Prabhupada said that, like we are saying population, population, but it is not that a problem, because if we just take what is required for us, there is enough for everybody. But because I want to store more, as soon as there is some rain or typhoon warning, I go and I bring more. I want to store more. Then the scarcity is created. But if I just take how much is required for me in that time, not more, then there is no scarcity and we don't think about others. We become so selfish that I'm just thinking about myself. I have one house, but I want another so that I can buy and I can give it on rent. But then if I buy more than what is done, then like now it's not only me, then more people are doing it. And then there is the scarcity of homes, the prices rise.
yeah, it's true.
So this is a very nice point that, like, even I'm just telling, like, sometimes when we even go for dinner, in our plate, we try to fill more. And that's a very natural tendency that if you like something, you take a little more, but you don't think that there are so many other people, right? I'm talking about myself. This sometimes happen. Like a dish that you really like, you get
Yeah,
greedy
yeah, yeah,
and
it
you
happens.
so this is just the smallest example, the closest example that happens in every day. So
So
yeah,
true.
that's an important point. Yeah, that.
That's what we forget, right? We forget everything
Mm,
actually belongs to Krishna.
yeah.
We forget. Okay. Thank you. This is there in the Sri Upanishad, right? This verse and this
Yeah,
example.
we did, right? We
Yeah,
read that also, Ishopanishad.
yeah, it's there in the Sri Upanishad. Okay. Yam pashyati na pashyantam.
Yam
यं
pashyati
पश्यति
na
न
pashyantam
पश्यन्तः
Chakshur yasya narishyati.
chakshuriyasya
चक्षुर्यस्य
narikshati
दृश्यति
Tam bhuta nilayam devam.
tam
तं
bhutanilayam
भूतनिलयं
deva
देवं
Suparnam upadhavata.
suparnam upadhavata.
सुपदावत
Although the Supreme Personality of Godhead constantly watches the activities of the world, no one sees him. However, one should not think that because no one sees him, he does not see, for his power to see is never diminished. Therefore, everyone should worship the Supersoul, who always stays with the individual soul as a friend. It's true, no? Like when we are by ourselves, we think, okay, I'm alone. I can do whatever I want to do. No one's watching me right now, you know? And then how do we behave at that moment? Right? Sometimes it may be different than how we are behaving when we are with others. So, but the super soul is there and he's watching us. I remember there was a story that, there were these small children, like kind of in a gurukul, and then they're all given a banana to eat. And they said that you go and eat this banana in a place where no one can see you. So, and then come back and report to me, the
Hare
teacher
Krishna.
says. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Oh, we couldn't hear you just
Oh,
now.
really? Ah,
I can hear you.
Oh, you
I.
could?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, just now we didn't hear you. Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay, now we can hear.
Oh, okay. So the teacher says, okay, now you all go and eat your banana and where nobody can see you, and then you come back to me and report to me. So one by one, everybody the small boys come and they say, okay, I ate it here. The teacher was asking, okay, where did you eat? Was there anyone there or no? Who was watching you? No. So they all were giving nice ways that, okay, I ate here, I ate in this corner, there, nobody was there, really nobody saw me. One boy came back with the banana. The teacher said, why you didn't eat your banana? Couldn't you find any place where nobody could see you? He said, no, I couldn't find a place, because Paramatma is there in my heart and he's everywhere. So I couldn't find a place where nobody could see me because Paramatma is seeing me. And then the teacher said, okay, this boy has the correct understanding. So I just remembered this story in this context. So we think nobody is seeing, but Super Soul is seeing. He's hearing our thoughts. We have so many things in our mind. But Super Soul can hear. Offering praise to Krishna, Srimati Kunti Devi, the mother of the Pandavas, said, Alakshayam Sarva Bhutanam Antar Bahir Avasthitam. Krishna, you reside both inside and outside of everything. Yet the unintelligent conditioned souls cannot see you. In Bhagavad Gita, it is said that one can see the Supreme Personality of Godhead through Jnana Chakshusha, eyes of knowledge. He who opens these eyes of knowledge is called a spiritual master. So, Gyan Chakshusha, see through the eyes of knowledge. Because with our blunt material eyes, we cannot see anything. So, we need to see through the scriptures, what the scriptures are telling us. With our material eyes, we cannot see the super soul, but by understanding Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, we will be able to understand, super soul, Paramatma is there in my heart of every living entity, every atom of the universe. So that is seeing through the eyes of knowledge. And the one who opens these eyes, that is a spiritual master, opens these eyes of knowledge. Thus we offer our prayers to the spiritual master with the following shloka. Om Agyana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. I offer my respectful obeisances unto my spiritual master, who with the torchlight of knowledge has opened my eyes, which were blinded by the darkness of ignorance. Caitaniya Tantra. So we say these prayers, right? Before we read Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, we offer this respect, these prayers. Because it's by the mercy of the spiritual master that we are receiving knowledge, and with which then our eyes are being opened. The Guru's task is to open the disciple's eyes of knowledge. When the disciple is awakened from ignorance to knowledge, he can see the Supreme Personality of Godhead everywhere, because the Lord actually is everywhere. So as Neha just said, right, that the three types of dreaming. Even during the day, we are dreaming. I'm this, I'm that, my name is this, that. In dreaming, we cannot see God. Actually, He is there everywhere. So then how to wake up? By the mercy of the spiritual master, by receiving knowledge from him, by engaging in devotional service. The spiritual master is engaging us in devotional service. Andantarasta Parmanuchayantrastam. The Lord resides within this universe. He resides within the hearts of all living entities. And He resides even within the atom. Because we lack perfect knowledge, we cannot see God. But a little deliberation can help us to see God everywhere. This requires training. With a little deliberation, even the most degraded person can perceive the presence of God. If we take into account whose property is the vast ocean, whose property is the vast land, how the sky exists, how the numberless millions of stars and planets are set in the sky, who has made this universe, and whose property it is, we should certainly come to the conclusion that there is a proprietor of everything. When we claim proprietorship over a certain piece of land, whether individually or for our families or nations, we should also consider how we became the proprietors. The land was there before our birth. Before we came to the land, how did it become our property? Such deliberation will help us understand that there is a supreme proprietor of everything, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, land already existed before we were born, yet we say this is mine, right? This is mine. So, who created it? So, Prabhupada is saying if we try to understand with a bit of intelligence, then we will be able to understand, oh, everything belongs to God. The Supreme Godhead is always awake. In the conditioned stage, we forget things because we change our bodies. But because the Supreme Personality of Godhead does not change his body, he remembers past, present, and future. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 4.1, Imam vivasvate progyogam proktavan aham avyaya. I spoke the science of God, Bhagavad Gita, to the sun god at least 40 million years ago. When Arjuna inquired from Krishna how he could remember incidents that had taken place so long ago, the Lord answered that Arjuna was also present at that time because Arjuna is Krishna's friend. Wherever Krishna goes, Arjuna goes. Prabhupada would say that wherever Krishna is there, Arjuna is there. Krishna is speaking Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna is there, hearing the Bhagavad Gita from him. Somewhere in the universe, some planet or the other. So the difference is that Krishna remembers everything, whereas the living entity like Arjuna, being a minute particle of the Supreme Lord, forgets. Because Arjuna has to keep changing his body, Krishna never changes his body. Therefore, it is said the Lord's vigilance is never diminished. This is also confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 15.15. Sarvasya chaham hridisani vishto matasmritir jnanam apohanam cha. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, in his Paramatma feature, is always present within the hearts of all living entities, and from him come memory, knowledge, and forgetfulness. Sarvasya chaham hridhi sanivishtam. Matasmritir jnanam apohanam cha. So sometimes we may be very proud of our memory I can remember so much. Sometimes we may be very proud of our knowledge. I know so much. And forgetfulness, I don't know if we are proud or no, but sometimes it's good to be forgetful. Certain things is better to forget. But everything, all this memory, knowledge, forgetfulness is coming to us from Krishna. We are thinking it's coming from us, but actually Krishna is giving us this. Because if it was depending on us, then how is it sometimes we really want to remember something, but we cannot, really cannot remember, you know? And sometimes we don't want to remember and it just comes. We're just sitting and it'll just click to us something. So it's Krishna, the Paramatma. This is also indicated in this verse by the word Suparnam, which means friend. In the Shvetashvatara Upanishad 4.6, it is therefore said, Dva Suparna Sayuja Sakhaya Samanam Briksham Parishas Vajate. Two birds are sitting on the same tree as friends. One bird is eating the fruit of the tree, and the other is simply observing. This observing bird is always present as a friend to the eating bird and giving him remembrance of things he wanted to do. So this is said in the Upanishads. Shvetashvatara Upanishad is saying, two friends on the tree, same tree. One is eating bird, one is observing bird. Who is the eating bird?
Is the living
Soul.
entity.
Yeah,
Yeah,
soul.
that's right. The living entity, yeah. The individual soul. And who is the witness, observing bird? Who is
The
the
super
friend?
soul.
The super
Super
soul. Yeah, that's right. Thus, if we take into account the Supreme Personality of Godhead in our daily affairs, we can see Him or at least perceive His presence everywhere. So, Srila Prabhupada is saying if we actually try to see through knowledge what we are hearing every day, if we can try to apply it or see the world in that way, then we will be able to see God everywhere. The words Chakshuryasya Narishyati mean that although we cannot see him, this does not mean that he cannot see us. Sometimes it happens, right? We think that, oh, I cannot see means nobody can see me. It may not be true. We may not be able to see, suppose we are walking on the road, huh? So we cannot see up on the 20th floor, there's somebody in the window. We cannot see. But it doesn't mean that that person cannot see us. That person very well can see. Ah, you're walking down, you're wearing this color clothes. So Krishna can see us. Nor does he die when the cosmic manifestation is annihilated. The example is given in this connection that the sunshine is present when the sun is present. But when the sun is not present, or when we cannot see the sun, this does not mean that the sun is lost. The sun is there, but we cannot see it. Similarly, although we cannot see the Supreme Personality of Godhead in our present darkness, our lack of knowledge, He is always present, seeing our activities. As the Paramatma, He is the witness and advisor, Upadrashta and Anumanta. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that He is the Upadrashta, He is the Anumanta, He is the witness, He is giving the sanction. Therefore, by following the instructions of the spiritual master and studying authorized literatures, one can understand that God is present before us, seeing everything, although we have no eyes with which to see Him. So God is there. He can see us. We are unable to see because we are covered. Our knowledge is covered, our eyes are covered by Maya. But if we can deliberate, as Prabhupada is saying, when we are studying the scriptures, seeing through the eyes of scripture, then we will be able to see Him. Any comments, questions? Or did anyone want to add anything? No? Oh, you all are very quiet today, eh? Yes. So let's stop here
Actually,
then.
previously, when we used to read, then I know because as slowly and gradually, I was also telling Sneha ji the same thing. We can, like even in Krishna book, we are doing the prayers of the Murtiman Vedas, like so we can definitely we don't still understand. Maybe we think we understand, but that's not. But at least we can relate to some parts now
Mm,
because we have been hearing it every day.
mm,
So we can relate to small parts that, yeah, this is this, what we have heard in this part. So this is the same part coming. So then the doubts get cleared because
mm.
we are hearing it again and again. This is the same thing that we are hearing about Krishna, like what Manu Maharaj is saying, right?
Yeah.
So it's like our doubts are being cleared and the stamp is being put that yes, this is this.
Mm.
So while reading also we are recollecting, and it's so joyous to listen that yeah, this is what Krishna is.
Yeah, it's true many times now when we are reading other scripture, I mean, like how the Krishna book, and then we remember,
Mhm.
oh, yeah, this we have read.
Yeah, we
That's
have
right.
read. Yeah,
No? Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
So this
So,
is
yeah,
really wonderful.
understanding
Like how everything is connected. Everywhere they are
everything.
saying the same thing that Krishna
Mhm.
is.
It's true.
Yes, the Mayavadi philosophy is wrong. Like how they are giving the same examples everywhere against them. Like this is not. It should not be like this. So
Yeah, thank you.
it's very nice. Yeah.
Thank you. Okay. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Thank you so much for